Oh, you caught me off
Welcome,
guard.
welcome.
Good evening, everyone. Sports fans, how y'all guys doing? Welcome to another episode, another electrifying episode of the Collective Bargaining Podcast. I'm
That's
Michael
right.
Hercules, and as always, I have with me the ever insightful Mr. Atway Campbell. Tonight is not just any night. We're diving into some thrilling atmosphere of the NBA as the playing games are here, and we are about to see who goes up against who with the 7th and 8th seeds, basically in the East and West. Well, the West was last night, East is tonight. So we're gonna dive straight, basically, into the high stakes of everything right now. So, what did you think of last night, brother? I'm gonna start off with the first game before we go to the other one, the Lakers
In-
game.
intense, intense. I mean, Zion. By the way, this was one of the, including the in-season tournament, right?
Yeah.
That had to be one of the best games of the season so far, for me.
Okay,
And
right.
it's amazing that it turned out to be Zion's. This potentially could have been Zion's coming out party, right?
Listen, the man dropped
mean,
40.
Whew. He looked
And he
dominant
was
too, man.
Well, I
He
mean, the
looked
thing is, Zion he always has this dominance about him on the court. But
right.
that game last night, he was
This
it was different.
was
It was different.
I am him,
Yeah.
and I'm about to make a statement.
Yeah.
This was kind of it felt like, you remember when LeBron was going up against the Pistons,
Ooh.
and it was like, I'm here, 23
Yeah,
straight
yeah,
points.
yeah.
But out of nowhere comes this injury, and that
Yo,
I almost had
I
flashbacks
think
to Derrick Rose in a way.
ooh,
I know it's not that
it's
type
not
of
that
injury,
serious.
but
that
you get the
that
gist
could
of
have
it.
sealed if they
Yeah.
I would have been skeptical if he didn't get injured.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
you bring it
I
down to
mean,
the last because the game was still close. In the last minutes of the game.
momentum, man.
Yeah.
They had momentum. And this is with CJ McCollum not hitting shots. This was Zion,
Yep.
man. All Zion, man.
Yes,
He,
all.
he took over. He took over. He was
And
blocking.
blocking.
I couldn't tell
offense.
if it was age on LeBron or if it was, just all Zion. But I saw some plays where I was kind of like,
What do you do?
exactly. What do you exactly do when a guy is up at the top of the backboard when he's outstretched with his hand? What do you exactly do? So the
Not
offense
much.
looked, I mean, he was all over the place, and the offense from the Lakers just looked like they didn't know what to do.
They didn't. People understand. Zion gets his points in the paint.
Yep, he does.
Okay, he's not a 3-point shooter. He gets his point basically on all twos.
And when
Right.
you have a guy the size of Zebo, right,
Ooh, yeah.
that can maneuver in the air, the difference is this guy has the ups of a guard, right?
Yeah, that explosiveness is crazy.
And it's not just that, he could turn directions in the air. So when AD's trying to meet him, he's
Yeah,
like, in the air, right? I mean,
Yeah.
it's wild to see, right? Wow, it's kind of sad because now he's not even available for the game against the Kings, which is I just don't see the Pels beating the Kings
without
as
him.
they are without him.
Yeah.
So they can
I
beat
agree.
the Kings if he's around. But man,
I mean, you see, we say that, but it's one game.
it's
The
one game. It's
Kings-
one game. It's one game.
Just like last night with the Kings
Yeah.
versus the Warriors,
Yeah,
where Clay had 0 points. Right? It's
Yeah.
one game, so something like that could happen.
right. But
When they play.
here's the thing, and I'm hoping we could touch on this when we get there. A lot of people saw this coming with the Warriors. The Warriors have not been good all year long, and you have fans that think, oh, they're just gonna flip a switch like this. The Warriors are a team-based offense, right? And they've struggled with team-based offense all year long. The Warriors' strength is not Steph actually going off for 50 or 60. That's never been the Warriors' strength. So when you have Draymond looking a lot older, when you have, I would say, Clay going 0 for 10, then that's definitely an issue. So it I mean, last night was just, I think, what they've been doing all season long. So that in itself, a lot of us saw it coming. A lot of us saw it coming.
Yeah. So the thing
Yeah,
about them is all season they've been a little iffy. So I
yeah,
think what happened is the guys in the guys that were looking for the switch.
yeah.
Remember that year they won the championship, and
Right,
that's when they basically turn it on at the moment, and it was just like, all right, we're gonna get this. I think that's
right,
exactly what they were looking for this year. So that's why
right.
they were like, we're not worried. They're gonna know how to turn it on, but
Yeah, yeah.
it's just not like that. It's not like that. It's not like that.
No, no, no. And it was a struggle all season. So again, for some people, it just wasn't a surprise. A lot of fans were angry. Don't blame Clay. I mean, you have to remember, right? A lot of the Warriors staff actually walked away because the Warriors weren't willing to make serious changes when it came to Draymond's position in the team and Clay's position in the team, right? So, you got to face the music now. I mean, some people wanted at least give the man one more year, at least let him play out one more year. He deserved it. And maybe he does. But the result of that, the flip side of that coin is that you kept a roster that clearly wasn't up to the task. A lot of people would have said at in the off season a year ago, make the changes. Clay clearly needs it's not that can't hit a shot, but he clearly needs a new team to play on where the pressure is not going to be win everything right now. I think Clay can shoot the ball, but I think you put him in a different offense where the pressure is not really, on him. Like, they really needed 16 points out of Clay last night. They really
Oh,
needed
if
some
they
double
had that
digit
16
points
points, they
last night.
probably would have won.
Of course, it would have opened up the offense because you had 4 players on the court last night, you know? So
Pretty much.
it's
I
not to
mean,
say and the problem too is you have to remember what Clay used to bring to that offense is the two-way play. Clay was one of the best perimeter defenders in the league. And here on the flip side of that, he was bringing you in the same breath some of the greatest three-point shooting any team has ever had, right? Second to maybe only Steph. So when you come back from injury and you're not hitting shots at that clip, and then on top of that, your defense is not elite anymore at that speed, you're gonna be in trouble. You're gonna be in trouble.
I
So
mean, what they
yeah,
were looking for. I think just apart from that, which is all what you
right,
said was basically true. But
right,
apart from that, I think they was looking to because right after they won the chip, they were
right,
looking at Andrew Wiggins because he
yeah.
stepped up big in that championship run.
Oh yeah,
So
oh
they were
yeah, oh
looking
yeah,
for him to
oh yeah,
basically, as we see Clay,
yeah.
go lower, we are looking for him to actually ascend. But
Yeah.
then,
No, no,
no.
no.
So,
It's not gonna happen.
it's,
And it's
it's
kind of it's sad when you look at it that way, right? Because the Warriors are a legendary team. We're not trying to say that they're not. They clearly are a legendary team. But teams do grow old. Dynasties do come to an end. Either way you look at it, right? So and whoever internal to the Warriors decided that, we're not gonna change, we're not gonna break it up just yet. We want one more run. And it's sad
I
that it
mean,
had to come down to this because now, you have a lot of fans on the side starting to blame Clay for last night. I cannot blame
I
Clay
can't
for
blame
last
you
night
for
because
that.
the front office knew that these problems existed even before the season started.
Well,
So this
I can't point the whole. I just can't point the finger at Clay because he just
no,
won.
no, no, no.
Yeah, so
He's just one.
you got they
Yeah,
have other players that just didn't step
yeah,
up. They have
yeah,
other
and you
they have other holes that they need to fill,
big time,
and
big
yeah.
time,
So I
big
don't.
time.
Clay
No,
is
no,
not
no.
the deciding factor. I mean,
Yeah,
yes,
yeah, yeah.
it did put a little dent because he
Legacy
was like
wise,
no
oh
point
yeah.
a little bit because no points in such an important game to seal
Yeah.
a playoff
I think
spot.
people will. I think honestly, people will. Clay is what Clay is, right? So at the end of the day, it may take some time,
Hmm.
especially his attitude hasn't really helped the situation too, because you look at what he's liking on social media, all this garbage, I mean, you don't need to do that, man. You're one of the greatest shooters in history, no matter what you do from here on in,
I
but
mean,
you
it's
need
okay to
to
be in your feelings
rediscover.
sometimes.
You have to rediscover your form. I would say new scenery would fit this guy the
I
best
mean,
right now. You can't keep
you're
playing
saying
all.
that because you want him on the Lakers, but I
No, no,
understand.
no. I don't want him in the Lakers. I
It's
don't want.
okay.
I don't even know. I have no association with the Lakers right now, man. Come on, man. So at the end of the day, I just think he needs to be put in a new offense. You know,
What I think he needs to do is, all right. He's not quite to the point where Ray Allen was for the Miami Heat. He's slightly above that, but he's
above that,
not. Yeah. So what
above
Ray
that.
Allen? Yeah, what Ray Allen was for the Miami
I wouldn't
Heat.
even say that right now. I wouldn't even say. Let me ask you a question. You
Mm,
trust Klay Thompson to hit a clutch shot right now? Game on the line. You're throwing the ball to Klay?
yes.
That's wild.
Who else I got on my? Who else I got on my team?
I don't care who else
Who
you
else I
have,
have
man.
on my
This
team?
guy is not hitting shots right now, man. He hasn't been hitting shots all season, man. Matter of fact, you
That's
could argue
that's a
that
that's a
since the
mental.
injury, since the man, shooters shoot the ball. There's a
Yeah, bro.
difference between your regular shooting block and shooting drought versus what we're seeing from Klay right now.
So
There
what do you think
is
of the physical?
something wrong with this guy's form, like overall form right now. I don't know what it is, but it's been all season, all season.
It
And then
might be it could be the injuries that has it shut off because people don't realize how important like your
yeah,
legs are in that. So I don't know if it's that, but he
yeah,
seemed fine the first year after.
yeah. And it really doesn't it doesn't help with him not being prepared to take on that new role, right? Because
Yeah.
generally when you see players transition, right, you see that willingness to accept that new role, take on, that you know lesser elements, more bench time, coaching other players, stepping in only when they have to, that type of stuff, not forcing the ball. Because a lot of situations last night, what made it problematic is not just the fact that he went 0 for 6 and 0 for 10 as well. The problem was that in a lot of situations, there were people to pass the ball to.
I
There
didn't
were
like the
situations where
shot.
you
Half of
could
the
have
shot selections, I didn't like the shot selections.
yeah, you could have rotated the ball in order to give someone else a chance. Just be more
But
active. And it's like,
at the same time, I've seen him make those shots before.
yeah,
So
but when are you exactly talking about? Have you seen him make those shots this season or last season or a couple years ago? Because trust me when I tell you, man, it's been this has been bad. This has been bad and it's been building for a while right now. So for some people, we're actually not too shocked about seeing what's happening on the court with him right now at all. It's to that point. And I hate to say this like that about a guy like Klay, because we've seen this guy turn it up, right? This is the same guy
yeah,
that dropped how many points off of 11 dribbles, right? Unheard of, right? So
60.
I'm just saying. So yeah. So yeah.
I don't know what to do about that.
I know. So I guess we'll leave the Warriors. The Warriors are home right now, so he can go fishing. And of course, LA goes on to what I think will be an interesting matchup. But again, we have more playing action tonight, right? So, and this is really serious, right? Because we have what I would have considered some semi-conference final-like games going on potentially early, right? Because remember, you have Atlanta and the Bulls,
yes.
which I don't see any of these teams going past, maybe the first round. But you have Miami and the
they're not going
76ers. And the Sixers are a top 3 team in the league easily for me.
Well, if top 3 in the league,
if when Embiid is healthy,
okay,
when Embiid is healthy,
Okay.
and for me, that series with Miami is absolute drama, because you have the history with Jimmy, you have the fact that Himmy is the guy, right? That's the guy in the playoffs, right? So at the end of the day, man, I just see I see a lot of potential there. And to be honest,
they're playing right now. The Heat
what's
is
the
up
score?
59-53.
Wow.
It's in the third quarter, 6 minutes
Wow.
left to go.
Wow.
It's
Yeah,
not
as I
that bad.
said, anyone can walk out of that game, and um let me get this straight. That's the 7-8 game, right?
That's the 7
It's
8 game.
happening right now. So that's good because honestly, I don't want in a perfect world, I know I'm in Chicago, but in a perfect world, I want both the Heat and the 76ers to go through for the sake of the excitement in the playoffs. Because
Well, that's going to be interesting too because
yeah, yeah,
If the Heat wins this game, they play the Knicks, and if the
yeah,
76ers lose and then they play Atlanta or
yeah.
Chicago and they win, then they play Boston first
I
round.
love
So
it. And that's why I want both to go through. I don't care. Either one, let me tell you, the 76ers versus Boston is fire. The
yeah,
Heat versus Boston is fire,
Boston even better,
right? And the fact that we get a preview of a potential matchup later on between the Heat and the
right?
76ers right now, a one-off game, is fire.
Yeah,
So I can't be mad at all with the playoffs the way it's set up this season, man. This is all entertainment, right? So
it is.
um I love it. I love it. Love it. Absolutely soaking in the playing. So you know what? I think I was gonna save it for later, right? But I think we're ready to throw you in the fire right now. You know, we
Ooh,
like to throw
yeah,
you in the
so
fire as it
early.
is, right? So
Yeah.
we got we I there's a bracket that I want you to, not a bracket, but a tier list that I want you to fill out for us,
Okay.
right? And people can feel free to comment if they need to, but we want to dive straight in since this is playoff season. You know how we get excited around the playoff time. So right now I'm going to share this screen and we're going to ask you a few questions. Definitely. So this is the tier list. And I'm gonna, each time I click on this tier, you're gonna be responsible for adding a player. All right. The player list is gonna show up on the side. So I'm gonna click the plus sign and you're gonna tell me who I should add. So we're doing tier 5. This is at the bottom of that pyramid.
Oh
Who
God.
am I adding right now to the bottom?
God.
And you got to go through this fast, man. So there's not a lot of thinking. We have players I can skip through.
Jesus. Game 7, tier 1?
Yep. So we're in tier 5.
That's tough.
And there's no going back, by the way. So rapid fire. Give me somebody
There's
right
no
now.
going back?
No going back, man. You got it
Tier
is
5.
what it
I don't
is.
see. All right, give me. I don't see anybody here that's in tier
Okay.
5.
All right. Give me tier 5.
Maxi,
All right. You get Maxi. All right. Who else?
Fox. No,
All right. We're
I
doing
guess
Fox.
Fox.
Yeah. Who else?
Jalen. Give me a next page.
Yeah, next.
Chet.
Chet. All right.
Ball.
Ball.
Paulo. I guess.
Wow.
Not really,
Okay.
but not really, but Bam.
I mean, it does get thinner up there, right? So you gotta
Bam.
make it happen one way or another.
Yeah, you put Bam there.
All right. Wow. Bam. Okay.
Listen.
All right.
You're giving me rapid fire. You're giving me rapid fire here.
Man.
Okay?
Yeah. No problem. Give me somebody else, man.
There's nobody on this list here that's tier 5.
All right.
Yeah, there's nobody on this list here either that's tier 5.
Really? All right. We'll move on to tier 4. Tier 4.
Trying to kill me. I didn't even prepare for this.
That's what I'm saying. Rapid fire, man. You should know this off the top. You know, who we're putting.
No.
Who are we doing at tier 4?
Jesus.
There's a lot of names here, man.
Yo, man, can we start at the top? Let's start at the top.
All right. We'll start at the top then. Who's at the top of the mountain?
So there's only one player at the top, right?
One player at the top.
Shit. That's tough.
You asked for the top, man.
Yeah.
Remember, anybody, you can, if you're looking at the show, you could comment and tell us where this needs to be. All right. So
Giannis.
Yeah,
Giannis.
Wow.
Let's put Giannis as tier 1.
And who's tier 2?
Luka.
All right, Luka.
Embiid.
Embiid. I completely disagree with this, by the way.
That's fine.
Sure.
That's
Go
fine.
ahead.
Jokic.
Jokic.
Let's
All right.
go. Yeah.
A lot of
let's do
people would
tier
have
3.
him actually at the top, right? But I mean, I get it.
That's fine. That's fine. I prefer Giannis. All right, let's
Yeah.
go tier 3.
All right, tier 3.
Yeah.
All right, tier 3.
Ooh. This one's tough as well. Give me Shy.
All right.
LeBron.
Okay.
Kawhi.
All right. Now make sure
Tatum.
I'm over here as well. Anybody from over here you want to use or no?
No.
All right.
Let's
Tatum.
do Tatum. Yeah.
All right.
And who else we got? Damn.
Davis, Durant. Somebody's got to be up there, right?
This was tough. Who else we got? Give me another list. Show me who else is on this list.
I don't think anybody on the other page.
No, they're not
Go
on
ahead.
this list. Okay, so it's just one more from here.
Yeah.
Let's go with Anthony Davis.
That's not a bad choice, to be honest.
Yeah. So tier 4. All right. So tier 4. Let me see. I need what 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Well, anyway, PG. Kevin Durant.
Yeah.
Steph Curry. Anthony Edwards. Ty. Yeah, let's go with Ty. Jalen. Ooh. Damn, it's hard.
Leaving Jimmy on the board? Wow. Playoff Jimmy?
That's fine with play. I'm okay with playoff Jimmy right now. Ja deserves to be up there. So
All
put
right.
Ja.
All right. Over Jimmy?
Listen, this is my list, ain't it?
Man. this
is my list, okay? My list.
Wow, man.
And give me Himi.
Right, it had to be Jimmy, man. Yeah. And I guess who fills out the rest?
Even though I don't think Booker deserves to be so low, but yeah.
All right, Booker. Last 2.
Yeah. Lillard.
So Lillard, and one more.
Fuck, I can't take out some guys from tier 5. That's just one more. Look how much guys I have here. Let's go with Bronson.
Brunson is a good pick. So, happy with this?
No, not really, but you know, it's quick.
So I'm gonna mint this and probably bring it up when we have someone else on the show. So
I need some more time.
This, no, this is quick fire, man. We gonna
we
will have others. We will give others a chance to fill this out live. Because that's what putting people in the hot seat is like. I still think you did well, man. Because you can make a case that Giannis is the best in the league right now, so this would make sense, right? And despite his injury problems, etc., we have to give him credit, right? But I mean, you can make a case, and then you have the tier 2 guys. You can make a case for Jokic being on top. Embiid was MVP by a far margin before he got injured. We both agree with that. And then Luka, of course, is playing out of this world, right? So, I mean, happy there. I think tier 3. I would argue that maybe you could slot in. I'm not sure about Kawhi being there, but I get it. But I would be hard pressed to think that you could replace any of these guys right now.
I mean,
Yeah.
yeah. The only thing is in
No.
tier when you get to tier 5,
Right.
I could probably remove some guys to include.
I would
some
say
other
Chet
guys.
because of
When I
zero playoff
that's why I wanted to
experience.
start off at the top.
Yeah, I would say Chet
Yeah.
can
So
probably
you take out Chet, you take
off
out
from there.
ball.
Yep.
Yeah, ball. You take ball out, right? So you can add in. You know, the thing is, he gets a lot of flack because he doesn't really play that much defense. But
Right.
Trey is a killer.
He's had some good playoff experience, man. Look at what he did to New York and that type of stuff, right? So I mean,
Exactly.
yeah, that's a good tier 5 option. And who's your last out of these guys here?
I mean, it's hard not to say Donovan Mitchell, right? Based on everything, but even though the potential that Brandon Ingram has, well, I shouldn't say potential because we know what he could do. It's
Yeah.
just like he hasn't shown a lot of playoff
No.
success.
I wouldn't put him over any of these two guys here.
And Jaylen Brown, Mr. No Left, go with Donovan.
All right. Yeah.
Who can I move from the bottom? Nobody. Yeah, nobody.
I think Bam, you could make a case for Bam being tier 4, but I mean,
you can, but
yeah,
it depends on him. You see, the thing is, it depends on the matchup.
Right.
So against some certain teams, Bam will kill you, but not against everybody.
Right, not against everybody. That's the truth.
No,
that's the truth. So okay, no, that makes sense, man. That makes sense. So, well, that does it for that segment.
Actually, that wasn't that bad.
No, it wasn't that bad.
It was not bad.
The quick fire play was definitely one of those things that you did well with, right? You didn't have time to think about it. It wasn't scripted, and you did well with it, man. So, so tell me what your thoughts are on the Jonte Porter and
I was
lifetime ban that he just received, right? So
I mean, I get it from his position, right? You're a fringe player,
right?
Let me bet on myself. Hopefully, nobody knows. Right. But how he did it was probably questionable. I don't like the fact. I mean, they have the rules in place for a reason, as in you can bet on yourself. So it causes tanking and these kind of things. You bet $50,000 against yourself for scoring 10 points, 5 rebounds. You get 2 points, 1 rebound. Fake an injury to go. I think that was more the problem. You're faking an injury, so you don't play that day, or you play 2 minutes.
Yeah.
It's not like you were actually trying, and you're like, all right, I'm gonna score 30 tonight. Let me go out there, score 30, over 30. I think that would be a different. They probably would have given him not a slap on the wrist if he was actually trying to play and ball out. But in this instance, he was definitely more. Well, he went
going the opposite direction.
Other spectrum.
I think my whole thing is you can't feel sorry for someone like that, right? It's not chump change she was making, right?
No,
you get it. You made it. We talked about in our very first episode, right? Not even this season, when we had Etan Thomas on the episode, we talked about how hard it is to get from your first time with a ball to actually making it to the NBA. It's slim to none. No chance of making it. You're better off finding something else to do. And here's this guy that made that impossible trek, made it to the NBA, fringe or not, on the bench or not, doesn't matter. You made it to the NBA. You're a major. You're one of a very select few in the history of mankind to play in the league, right? And call yourself an NBA player. And you goofed that up, fumble the bag, as we like to say, and get banned for life?
For life.
Over what? 20? And it's the amount.
It wasn't a lot. It wasn't a lot of money.
His earnings were like $2 million plus, and this guy fumbles the bag over $23,000 or something like that in betting. It just
he could have got, like I said, he could have got away with it if he was a little smarter, but it was stupid. It was just stupid.
It's just I don't know
what. All right, so most people don't understand how you were saying it's difficult to this to get into the NBA. So from college, it's like a 1.2% chance
Yeah.
of making it into the NBA. So that means one person
Yeah.
out of 100 gets to go to the NBA. One person out of 100 from the college
Yeah.
gets to go to the NBA. One person, right? And there's only how many people are there in the NBA? How many players are there active in the NBA?
Somewhere around 400, somewhere around there.
So you have 400 people, and you have like everybody's trying to get in.
Yeah, yeah. It's ridiculous, man. It's ridiculous, you know.
It's an exclusive club.
It is an exclusive club, and there are people grinding every day to try to make it, man. You know, the guys that go undrafted, the journey isn't done for them yet. You know, they still go back to the lab. Some people travel abroad. It's a grind, and here's this guy fumbling the bag, man. I can't believe it, man.
His brother did a good job trying to defend him, but I guess he didn't know.
Yeah, that's ridiculous, man. So yeah, I mean, we covered the Warriors, we covered the Raptors, and the donkey of the day there. Clearly,
the donkey of the day.
Yeah, I'm telling you, man, you can't fumble the bag like that. You cannot fumble the bag like that. You know, so right now, MVP. Right, there's been a lot of talk about who could potentially win the MVP. Right now, we know the conversation is down to two people, right? SGA and Jokic. To me, you have to give Luka honorable mention, but I think because of where the team is ranked, I just don't think the narrative is leaning in his direction enough. So I think it's down to SGA or Jokic.
Agreed.
Who's your pick between the two?
My pick is, I mean, the thing is, yeah, they basically have the same record.
Right. Yeah,
right?
They do.
I mean, Thunder just owns the tiebreaker.
Right.
Which gives them first place.
Right.
But SGA is the leader of the team, and their team is the best team. Well, not the best team in the NBA. Here's the thing. Like a side note, why doesn't Jason Tatum have a vote in this?
Tatum has not had an MVP season compared to the other guys. He has not had
what makes an MVP season? See, now we're going to dive deeper into what makes an MVP season.
And that's fine.
Why is it not the best player on the best team?
You have to, because that's not necessarily the MVP. The MVP should go a bit further than that. In other words, the most consistent at the highest level of play, right? And when you look at and also too, you have to consider the narrative. Where does your team stand? So he has first in the East, right?
Yes.
But SGA has the first in the West, a tough West, right? That who's also facing up against the past MVP, right? And also too, SGA is also part of the second youngest squad in the NBA.
Well, the youngest squad to have number one seed.
Exactly.
In a conference. Yeah.
Think about that, right? I mean, when you put all of that
That's
together,
all narrative.
And the fact that he's been, but if you single him out, he has been a better player this year than Jason Tatum. If we're to look at who is the, you disagree with that or you agree?
No, I don't disagree with what you're saying.
Yeah.
I'm just mean but you know the Boston Celtics are clear, like they're the only team with 60 wins.
Right, which is fine. But he hasn't
been
leading. But his East. So in other words, when you look at MVP, yes, you have 60 wins, but how good has JT been? How good has Jason Tatum been this season compared to those other guys we talked about? Even with the top team, right? You can't say he's a top 3 player in that list. You can't put him above Jokic. You can't put him above Luka, and Luka's played a season, right? Luka just doesn't have the narrative, right, to drive. And it's funny, right, because the West, the game separating number 1 and the play-in teams is like only 10 games, right? So it's not much. I mean, the Lakers in 8 were 46 games, right, on the season. And the number 1 seed was like, what, 57 or 56 games, I think?
Yeah.
Yeah, so 10 games off, really. It's really tight. So, but you could, so how do you even create a case for JT above those guys?
I mean, the only case that you can have for him is saying that his team is the best team.
Right, which has been done
NBA.
before. Yes.
But
you know,
the
NBA
player on the team.
Yeah. But only in the NBA do we have an award that has no standard or true criteria,
None.
right?
I mean, it's just based on narrative.
Let's just make up the narrative, and this year we're gonna base it on this. No, this year we're gonna give Nash because he has just the
He
best
has-
record, even
yeah.
though he's
He's
you
not
can
really the best. He's not the best player, but who cares? So here's the
Crazy.
thing. All right,
Yeah.
points per game. I'm giving you
Right.
the top 5 guys in the points per game.
right.
Right, number 1, Luka, so he's gonna win that.
Yeah.
Number 2, Giannis. 3 is Shai. 4 is Jalen Brunson, and 5 is Kevin Durant, tied for 5th. Right, that's 5 in points per game. Then we have assists per game. So first we have Hallenberg from Pacers. Then we have Luka
Wow,
in second with 9.8 assists per game.
that's crazy.
Right?
That's crazy.
Then we have Jokic at third with 9 assists per game. Harden at fourth. LeBron at fifth. Okay? And now for rebounds, we have Sabonis
Yeah.
first. Rudy, Mr. Gobert at 2. Anthony Davis. Jokic at 4. And Duran from the Pistons at 5.
Right.
So my thing, I mean, I could go further on into these things here, but just to go off of points, rebounds, assists, we see that Luka
Yeah.
is in points and
Yeah.
assists.
Luke, yeah. Let me tell you right now. I'll say it right now, and this is probably where you're going with this. Luka has had the best season from an individual player standpoint. Luka is the MVP of the league. Okay, let's forget all the team. Like, just create a team award, please. Best team of the season. So that we separate this silly narrative-based issue that we have. Let's just look at who had the most valuable season as a player, as an individual player, right? I guess you have to count wins to a certain degree, but let's start weighting it, giving weight. You see, like when you're in a Queen show or you're in a tournament or something, they give weight to different aspects, right?
Yeah.
But the NBA refuses to do this, and all you have is a bunch of coaches and media outlet people that rant all year and now have to stick with their opinions, even though their opinions are completely wrong. So yeah, Luka has had the best season. That's no problem. But when I look at the narrative-based argument and I'm following just the trend, I think SGA should get it. Based on that.
Yeah. Based on the trend. So the thing is, we've established that.
Right.
We established that there's a certain narrative that goes into place.
Right.
Doing an MVP, so you can legit choose an MVP before the season is really over, because you know exactly how the guys who choose MVP think.
Right.
Because it has to have some kind of story, it has to have some kind of narrative behind it, and we know that if the Nuggets were the clear-cut number one, it would be Jokic.
Right.
But they're not the clear-cut number one. So and Shai and the Thunder came out of nowhere, and he has been playing very, very well.
Yeah.
If Embiid didn't get injured, then maybe we may have a problem.
Yeah, Embiid was a runaway at one point early in the season, right? And
Easily.
he was just putting up ridiculous numbers.
He's ridiculous numbers.
Yeah.
So Shai is the clear favorite for me, at least.
Yeah. I would give it to Shai. I would give it to Shai, and just end the story there, Another question. Who do you give the defensive player of the year?
Ooh. That's tough.
To me,
you know who leads the league in blocks?
Of course I know who leads the league, but
And you know how much they lead the league in blocks by?
you know what you're gonna tell me? They're too
I'm
young.
listening.
They're too young to get the award. They're too young. They can't. It would be at this stage. Let me just put it this way: it would be a robbery not to give it to him.
Yes.
I don't care if he's a rookie or whatever the case might be. Let's be honest, man. Every day you turn on the TV after a Spurs game, is on. You turn on and it's just swats, literally. This guy is changing the way players have to. I mean, to tell you, one of the most memorable highlights for me this season, right? That plays over and over in my mind was Kyrie having to go baseline, come back around through under the rim, and then do some sort of wild finish just so that he could get it through. And he like did this, right? So the ball went up just in time. I mean,
he got it. He got it.
Yeah, he got it, but that took everything. It took everything. So the guy is a beast. You pair him with a few good players around the perimeter, and when I say one star player, and you're gonna be in trouble.
One star. That's all I need. One star, and they
Pop knows that. Pop knows that. Yes. He knows that. Yes. Trust me. Yes. So
just to put things in perspective for everyone, right?
Yeah.
We're talking about Victor, right? We're talking about Victor Wembanyama.
Yes.
Right? So he leads the league in blocks with 3.6 blocks per game. The closest person to him in second place is 2.4.
Yeah, that's
so that means he averages 1 block extra per game than the closest person in second.
That's nuts. Yeah. It makes no sense.
And the players, the highlights that you're thinking about. All right, so listen, most people watch Spurs games, right? But when I watch Spurs games, because I'm a Spurs fan, I love Pop. You see on a fast break, and Victor is basically the only man back behind, and there's 2 guys running the fast break coming at him, and nobody wants to attack the rim. Nobody wants to attack the rim. They don't even know how to attack the rim. They pass out the ball for a 3. And the thing is, when they pass it off for a 3 and they're going to shoot, he just takes 2 steps and he's right there in their face.
Yeah.
That's because of the length. It's crazy not to give it to him, I think.
Yeah, I would say that he is one of those players that just changes the way a team plays around him. You know, and so I'm seeing Six. He actually commented that on your he said Bam is tier 1. So shout out to Six. You know, he said
listen,
Bam is tier 1. But you know,
Sekou is a diehard Heat fan. All right. There's no tier 1. There's no tier 1 Heat. The closest tier, it might be Jimmy. Jimmy might be the closest to tier 3. Tier 3, tier 4 Jimmy.
Yeah, I would have argued that I would have said Jimmy was tier 3. Yeah. I would have said Jimmy was tier 3, not tier 4. But I don't think you could put him in tier 2 above those guys that are there.
No.
It gets too thin up there, man. But Bam, maybe tier 4, I would argue. Tier 4, definitely. But I won't complain if he's down at tier 5, to be honest. Remember, this is the top tier, right? Being tier 5 doesn't mean that you're trash or anything like that, right? You know, I mean, it's still... Triangle gets really thin at the top, man. So, you know, it's just one of those things, right? But definitely, I think we'll see some. I mean, I'm glad that you made it clear, and we agree that this guy has to be given the Defensive Player of the Year.
Well, obviously, he's going to get the Rookie of the Year. That goes.
Yeah. He started running away with it a while back, right? So, yeah, I think that's done.
And the thing is, most people don't realize he's doing it on a minutes restriction.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
He's not playing over a certain amount of minutes. So it's not like he's out there every night playing 40 minutes a game. He's not. He's playing like 26, 30 minutes a game.
Right.
And that's not a lot for a rookie.
Yeah. No, I fully agree with you, man. At this point, you have to give him. You have to give it to him. It's not even it's a no-brainer at this point.
But the thing is, he knows too. So he's like, all right, I'm gonna give Rudy one more year, and then after that, it's mine.
Yeah, but I don't think he should have said that, because at this point it would be a robbery if they didn't give it to him. It's a robbery at this point. So I got some for you, putting you in the hot seat again.
Jesus.
So quick fire again, as you know us. Let me know if you can see this clearly or not.
I can see it clear.
All right,
I'm
good.
enough.
So I'm gonna have
you can zoom in a little more, but I'm not sure the people will be able to see.
Right.
Yeah, there we go. That's good.
So I'm gonna have you actually
Jesus.
do a little bracket here, and we're gonna be
Jesus.
rapid fire. All right. So
Uh,
that you can give us your opinion. So Thunder Kings right now. That matchup is set up. Tell us what would be your pick in this series.
Are we gonna go Kings? Or we're just gonna take out the Pelicans?
Yeah, or you know what? Pelicans or Kings, but so this doesn't allow us to choose.
Oh,
from the
okay.
play-in.
All right, good.
So yeah, so tell us Thunder or Yankees.
Let's go with Thunder for the first round.
All right, how many games?
Oh shit, we can get 3 games. Okay, let's go 6 games.
6 games. All right, so we
Yeah.
got the Thunder going through Clippers or Mavs.
Ooh. God damn it. This is gonna be tough. Oh. Alright, so if Kawhi is healthy, Clippers in 5. If Kawhi is not healthy, Mavericks in 6.
Wow. So I mean, you said a lot of conditional stuff there on both sides, but you got to give me some definitive right now, man.
Alright, so let's assume that everybody is healthy.
Right.
Clippers in 5.
Wow.
As much as I would hate to say Clippers in 5.
Wow.
Just
All right.
this is it's just a talent. It's just a talent
Makes
that they
sense.
have.
Makes sense. Timberwolves, T-Wolves, and Suns.
Ooh. All right, so what's his name? Cat just came back, but I
Right.
don't know how effective he's gonna be, how in shape he is. I prefer the Suns. Only problem is when they reach the fourth quarter, they're a little stagnant on offense. They don't have really much defense. Let's go Suns. Suns in 6.
6. All right. Nuggets, Lakers.
Yeah. I mean, the Lakers have been looking pretty okay.
Right.
Let's go Nuggets in 6.
Wow. All right.
No,
makes
change
sense.
that. Nuggets in 6. That's fine.
Nuggets in 6. All right.
Yeah.
All right. So you got situation here with the
Jesus.
Celtics, and I may have selected the Celtics.
Yeah,
with
yeah.
the Celtics?
Celtics in 5.
5.
Whoever they're playing.
Whoever
Celtics
comes
in
through, you think they're going through in 5?
5. Yeah,
Okay.
Celtics in 5.
All right. Cavs, Magic.
Cavs, Magic. That's tough too. Magic is like the first time really reaching the playoffs.
Yeah.
Let's go Cavs in 5.
Cavs in 5. All right. Bucks, Pacers.
The Bucks don't have Giannis to start, so let's go. I like the Pacers,
Yeah.
but it depends on how long Giannis is out. If Giannis is out the whole series,
Then that's a problem.
then that's a problem. I have a feeling they're gonna lose.
And then when he comes in, he's still on a minutes restriction as well.
And exactly. So let's. I like them boys at Pacers. So let's go for the upset. Pacers in 6.
Okay. New York or 76ers or Miami.
Damn, that one's. You know, the thing is, right? I'm still not sold on New York. I don't know why. I
Right.
just don't like them.
Right.
If the Knicks play the Heat,
And I guess we
Actually-
may have to wait until the play-in is done really to see how accurate
Yeah.
this is, because this
Yeah,
could be either way, man. I mean,
it
This
could
could be-
because right now the
Yeah.
score is 89-88 to the Heat with 4 minutes to go.
oh my goodness. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So let's. All right. So this I based it. It's on the Heat that the Heat is going through. Let's
Yeah.
just be for argument's sake. So I'll take the Heat in 6.
Heat in 6. All right. So right now, Thunder or Clippers?
Clippers
How many games?
6. 6. Yeah. Definitely
All right.
6.
Suns or Nuggets?
See, this is the matchup I want to see, right? I think the Suns match up well against the Nuggets. It doesn't necessarily mean that they'll win, but
Right.
it's just about execution and matchups. I
Right.
still have the Nuggets coming out. Let's say 7.
Wow.
Hmm.
Celtics, Cavs.
Boston in 6.
Boston at 6. Pacers
That
are
one's
the.
tough.
I think we said the Heat, right? We're down here.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Pacers.
Pacers.
Pacers in 7.
Wow. All right. So we're down to Western Conference Finals. Clippers or Nuggets?
Nuggets in 6. Actually, 5. Nuggets in 5.
Nuggets in 5. All right. And Celtics or Pacers?
Celtics in 5.
Wow. Nuggets Celtics for the championship.
This is basically. If it's close games, the Nuggets win because we know Boston can't close.
No, they can't close.
Um,
So Nuggets back-to-back champs.
no, no.
All right.
Celtics in 6.
Celtics in 6. Wow.
Yeah, don't judge me.
Wow is all I'll say for now. We shall come back and revisit this when the playing is done.
When the plane is over,
Just to see-
yeah. I might have a different. I might have a different.
just to see if you if any of those stand true. See where some teams stand. So we'll probably look at this again, revise it, and see where we are if the Celtics are still there. But definitely, yeah, interesting selections there, man. Yeah. So that's twice
Sure.
now tonight. You've been in the hot seat, man. Sorry about
Nah,
that.
man, sweating.
Sorry.
Sweating. Quick fire. I'm out here sweating.
So, I would say, I mean, don't get me wrong. The Celtics are a well-oiled machine. They have the right offense. They just need to execute, right, and close games. And I think their star player, as we said, needs to show that consistency in big games, right? You cannot disappear when that team truly needs you in the fourth. You have to be that guy. And the more time, I mean, what has established itself, though, what's going for him, is that he is now the de facto star of the team. I know we used to be having a lot of debates back then. It was questionable because, a lot of us thought JB. Yeah, I think it was questionable, man. At one point, they were playing on the same level, really, despite JB having trouble going left, etc. So at the end of the day, but the questions weren't due to us and hate, it was due to the inconsistencies of JT, I think. That's why.
At the time he was slightly inconsistent, yes.
Yeah, big time, So for me, I think he's grown into it.
But there's still some holes in this game.
Right, definitely. But I think what has happened too is the gap between him and JB has grown wider and wider and wider over the last 2 years. And the big contract for JB hasn't really helped the situation either. In my opinion, I think the Celtics made a mistake in going, full out on Jaylen Brown like that. And the reason is this.
Mm-hmm.
One might say, hey, you're crazy for saying that because, look, they're the number 1 seed and they're fantastic.
Yes.
But this is my theory here. I'm looking at the bigger picture here, right? The Boston Celtics, as currently constructed, cannot win a championship. They will not win a championship. And due to JB's salary, no other team is going to take on that salary for a guy that can't go left, for a guy that cannot be a de facto star. Can't be handing out contracts like that to a guy who is not in any circle regarded as a superstar. So to me, based on that, I think they made a mistake. But again, Celtics fans might tell you otherwise. We have the number 1 seed. Hey, kudos to you. But see me when it's time to raise the Larry O'Brien, and then we'll have that conversation, right? These guys have been together forever now. That time has creeped up.
It seems forever. But they were
It
together
is,
since they
but
were young. They were young.
that's what I'm saying.
And they
So they
started
grew
off young.
together.
So,
So they
yeah,
grew together. These
Yeah.
guys should know each other. They play one-on-ones. They play together. They run scrimmages all the time. They practice
Yeah.
together. All these different things, right? So all I'm trying to say is the excuses are actually less with these guys. Less that you can make for these guys. And after a while, you have to start questioning, man, we poured so much into this investment. Where's the results? Where's the chip?
But you see, they
You know?
they look at it. You see the results basically in the record,
Right.
right? So they're
Right.
always at the top of the league. They're either one or
Right.
number two,
Right.
right? So it depends on what do they want from the season? Do they want to win a
Right.
chip, or they
Right.
want to make sure that they're relevant?
Is this team a win now or bust? You know, and to
Nah,
me,
it's definitely a win now.
yeah, yeah.
So
And-
they have to
and-
win the chip, or it's a
And
bust.
now we're starting to get to a point where we're seeing the peak of these players. Like Jaylen Brown, what you see today, do you think you're going to see some sort of evolved version of that? I don't think so. I think
you
you're
might
going to
see
see
a slightly better version.
you may see some improved shooting or something like that, but I don't think you're going to see increased athleticism or
No.
footwork or
Oh,
him going left fully and having
You
that
never
dual
know.
play.
You never know.
I don't.
You gotta put in the work.
I just don't see it, man. I just don't see it. So but again, you may be right. You may be right. Let's see what happens. But I think the trouble with Boston is that it's gonna get the longer you wait with a contract like that, it's gonna get harder to move a player of that
Well,
caliber.
I don't think they have
No.
any intention of moving him. That's
Right,
the thing.
right. For now,
Danny
For now.
doesn't have any intention of moving for now.
I
mean,
for now. But if
based
they
on
lose,
how
let me
they
ask you
work
something.
together,
Let me ask you something. I'll put something out there for you.
the answer is no.
They make it to the conference semifinal. They lose to a 76ers. They lose to a Miami. They lose to someone in the conference finals. Someone, okay?
Okay.
What do you do with that team the following year? I'm asking you. Put on your GM hat. Don't lie
Something
about
has
it.
to
Come
happen. It depends on how we lose.
on, man.
Depends
What
on
do
how
you-
we lose.
What? Okay, you lose.
So you're saying we lose, and the first person I get rid of is Jaylen Brown?
No. I'm asking you. I want
You
your
gonna- you gonna
opinion. All I said was put on your GM hat.
All
I'm
right,
not
okay.
pointing my finger at JB.
All right,
Just
all
tell me
right,
what you
all
would
right.
do. Tell me what you would do.
I have to assess because, like I said, it depends on how we lost.
Come on, man.
Okay?
Listen.
So
Okay.
if we
okay.
lost because we
You
didn't
go out
get
in
any
six.
production off the bench,
You go out in 6. Listen, you have a 60
How did we
win
lose?
team. You have a
How did
60
we
win
lose?
team. Listen, don't give me
how did we
that.
lose?
No, don't give me that, man.
Like,
Your
if we
bench
didn't get
does
production
fine.
off the bench,
Okay, let me give you a scenario. I'll even make it more
I'm gonna
specific.
try to get like
Let me
some
give you.
better
Let me
role
give you
players.
some more specific then.
Let's go.
Your bench does fine. Your bench does what they did in the season, right?
Okay.
Your
cool.
starting 5, for whatever reason, was not able to close the ball game in the fourth
Okay.
quarter.
All right.
You're out in 6. You're not able to bring the ball game back home in Boston for a game 7. Okay, so the bench produced. When you look at the statistics, right? You won here and there. You lost here and there. You get to game 6 somewhere, and you lose. And you lose in the fourth quarter by not being able to close out the game, right? That's
which
the
was
scenario.
typical for a Boston Celtic.
What do you do the next year
Nothing.
in that scenario?
Nothing.
You run it back again with that
Run
same
it back
squad.
again. You see, the thing is, it's a different squad. The only
Right.
players that really remain the same is
Right.
JT, Jaylen Brown,
Right.
Al Horford,
Right.
he's probably gone this
Right.
time. Most likely this time he'll be gone.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
Derek White.
Right.
The main guys on the starting lineup is like Porzingis, Drew Holiday.
Okay.
You know, that's a different squad.
Let me.
I'm gonna
rephrase-
give them one more year to run around.
Let me rephrase this question about JT and JB.
You just
for
want to
you.
break it up.
No. I want to know. I want to know. So this one is more specific. This one will trap you within that realm, right? What does it take for you to break? What scenario would it take for you to break up the JT JB combination in Boston? What needs to happen in order for that to happen for you as a GM? What would it take?
All right, so let's say this year we make it to we're number one team in the East.
Right.
We have to at least reach the conference finals. At
Okay.
least.
Minimum.
Right?
Okay.
Minimum.
Fair enough.
Right?
Yeah.
So let's say we do, and then we do that again. If we're number one in the East next year,
Right.
and we don't make the conference finals,
Right.
that's when I start thinking about it and seeing what the problem is.
Right.
So I'm gonna give them at least after this year. So after this year, I'm gonna give them one more year to see
if they can win it.
If they can, I'm not gonna try to. You see, the problem is I don't think they want to be like the Thunder and just break it up too early.
Right.
With the Russ, KD, and Harden thing.
Exactly.
Right?
Exactly.
But at the same time, you also have to know when to cut your losses, right? You ain't going nowhere. But if they keep reaching to the conference finals at least,
yeah,
that means they put money in my seats.
Yeah.
Right?
No,
Because we get into the conference finals, that's extra money.
Yeah.
At the end of the year, right?
Yeah.
So if they reach at least the conference finals every year for the next 2 or 3 years, if they don't reach the conference finals, if they get knocked out in the first round badly, like how let's go back to when Boston swept the Nets with KD.
Right.
So that's when, like in that particular time, that's when I'll be thinking, that kind of scenario. I'll be like, you know what? Let's blow this up a little. Yeah.
Understood. And that's fair enough. That's fair enough to me. I think that works. I mean, I agree with you. You got to look at it from the bigger picture and long-term view sometimes. Yeah. Especially with these guys.
I'm not saying that winning a chip isn't the all,
right?
But sometimes, as business-wise, as a GM,
oh yeah.
I mean, you get into the conference finals, the NBA finals almost every year. You may not be winning, but you're still winning.
And the big teams, the big market teams, have a bit more expectation on their backs.
Exactly.
With the exception of New York, New York and Chicago, by the way.
New York doesn't.
So, but I think, definitely, I think you have to watch and observe. These guys are still young, by the way. So I don't blame you.
That's what I'm saying.
They are young.
Jason Tatum has been in the playoffs basically since he got to the NBA.
Yeah.
And most people don't realize that.
Favorite player in 2K, by the way. Yeah, that guy doesn't miss. Yeah, definitely. Well, I actually dislike Boston so much. I actually so in the league that we play in, because we don't spend coins and all this garbage in 2K, so we play the 82 game season and do all the drafting and stuff. So I pretty much moved as the GM. I moved Boston to Seattle and then renamed the organization the Seattle Supersonics. And kept JT as the star player. Come on, man. Come on. I'm not sticking with the Boston Celtics just because I want to use JT, man. I gotta get him out of there, man. So it was either trade him or move the team. I decided to move the team. So right now in the league, Boston doesn't have a team. So this is what it is, man.
You traded Brown?
Yeah. First thing I did.
Of course.
First thing I did. He was gone. He was gone. So funny enough, I traded him for a package from the Warriors. I took Clay and a few other pieces. Yeah.
That's not actually a bad idea.
Yeah, no. I took a few pieces. And not that I'm advocating for doing that now, because that would be a silly trade. But but yeah, imagine
game wise, it is not a bad idea.
Imagine a scenario where Clay, gets to a squad like Boston and comes off the bench. That would be, to me, this guy would be an instant hit over there, man. Yeah. If I'm Clay, I'm surveying the landscape, right? And I'm looking for a contender. And I'm telling that contender, at this point, money doesn't matter, but I still want to win. It doesn't matter if I come off the bench. As you pointed out, you made a good point earlier, right? You said the Ray Allen style of play.
Ray Allen for the Heat.
He can be that for a long time to come. Focus, get back your mentality, because it's a mental thing for him, right? It's clearly that. So come off the bench and instant offense, man. So for me, the catch and shoot, do it.
Catch and
and you
shoot
don't
works.
have to
Catch and shoot
you
works.
don't have to expend yourself on defense either. Just focus
all.
on hitting some shots, timely shots, and become that Ray Allen-esque player. And Boston, they would love Clay in Boston, man, as long as he's hitting shots.
Once
So
in,
yeah, even a Miami, right, could
Oh.
use a player like Clay. When you look at it, there
you
are a
have
lot
other
of
shooters,
scenarios.
Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of people think LA is the best spot, but I actually don't think LA is actually. I mean, pairing him with Braun clearly, but you have to think, how long does Braun have elite driving capability for? I don't think it's a long time. I'm starting to see things in his drive that
Yeah.
finishing at the rim, basic layups last night after he takes a hit, not able to really go all the way through. I would be looking at that and be like, I'm not sure about going to LA. I would focus on like a Miami, a Boston. I wouldn't do the 76ers because I'm not sure on Embiid's full ability to play and be available in the playoffs and regular season. But any contender where you could have distribution of the ball and you could do a catch and shoot scenario and be fully effective with a player that's going to collapse the defense, he would be a mega addition.
So let's run through that real quick then.
Right.
So they got Boston right now.
Yeah, definitely. That would be number one option if I was Clay.
So you got the Knicks as well. I don't think Knicks is the best place for him.
No.
It's not bad.
Yeah, it's not bad, but Knicks right now need a superstar, and I just don't think they have that. So a lot of pressure would be on Clay. I don't think he needs that right now.
You have the Bucks.
It could work because, I mean, Giannis pretty much does what LeBron does, just the same way.
And he just sit there in the corner and shoot some threes.
Yeah, it could work. It could work, but there's something about the Bucks offense that doesn't sit right with me, and I don't see Clay wanting to go play for Doc Rivers.
You talking about Glenn? Glenn?
Yeah,
Glenn. I ain't playing for Glenn.
Yeah, nah. I'm not. I don't see that happening, bro. I don't see that happening.
So here's one I think might be interesting. If he goes to the Orlando Magic.
Wow. That's a young team, though.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Veteran leadership.
It matches Clay's mindset because that would still give him the...
It would, because they play an almost similar style.
But the problem here is that Clay is no longer that guy. And to me, that's if he wants to expand his career, build his legacy.
Unless he doesn't have that kind of leadership.
Yeah, I don't see it happening. I don't see Clay being that guy.
Fair. So let's go to the West then.
Okay.
So the Thunder.
It could work for the Thunder. It could work for the Thunder. Yeah. The Thunder have the pieces and the attention would be off of him and he could slip into a catch and shoot, specialist, which he is already, but it's just, it would take the pressure off of him. Definitely would work.
The Nuggets.
Absolutely. That would be terrifying, actually, when you really look at it. It would be genuinely terrifying.
Yeah.
Because
they're swinging that ball. They swing that ball.
Yeah, it's just ridiculous. It's ridiculous. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. The Timberwolves.
It can work. In fact, I would say that team. My only concern is that team needs a player like Clay, but not this version of Clay. They need the Clay that was existing on the Warriors before.
Yes, I agree.
But so I kind of worry that the catch and shoot version that we're talking about may not be enough for a team like that.
All right, so two more. The Mavericks.
Yeah, in a funny sense, I could see it working. I think what the Mavs need I think they need a proper wing player, though. I don't think they need necessarily a Clay. I don't like...
the Mavs get Paul George. What do you think?
Oh, yeah. It's over. It's over. It's over. It's funny you say that because now that I'm thinking about it, that's the perfect fit for the Mavs. That would be a trio.
Yeah.
And in fact, that would be a natural step for Paul George. Moving from the second option to the third option and having his style of play, it's over, man. Imagine you have to contend with Luka going off, right? On any given night, right? You then have Kyrie, who can go off on levels the same as Luka. And
Yep.
then if any of those two having a bad night, you have Paul George
You
that
got
can hit
PG.
you for 40. You know what I mean? That makes no sense, man.
You got PG,
I
the
think-
taller Kyrie.
yeah. I mean, it's by the way, he is the great value version of JT in 2K. So right now,
Ah.
I would his shooting and ability to play defense and just the silkiness on the ball, man, the level of skill, Paul George. That would be unfair. That would be unfair. Like I would need Adam Silver to go fully David Stern and block the crap out of a trade like that, because you can't have Paul George and Kyrie on the same team. I'm sorry. That would be ridiculous.
All right,
you
and the
stop
last
that?
one.
Yeah.
You can't. The last
exactly.
one for potential, even though I have a couple more,
Right.
I really want to hear what you have to say about this one, is the Phoenix Suns.
I just want to say that Paul George to the Mavs is wild. That's crazy. I didn't even think about that. My mind is like on that right now. I'm like,
woo!
wow, like that would be crazy. That would be crazy.
Yeah.
If I'm Mark Cuban, I'm like, yeah, that would be crazy. Yeah, but still, I think anyway, maybe next episode we can talk about Paul George being somewhere, because that guy, you put him anywhere. Like he's one of those guys I really wanted to pair with Braun, man.
Yes,
in Cleveland, and it didn't happen. So, yeah, but yeah. What was the last one that you had?
The Suns. Clay to the Suns.
The reason I would say no is because of the existing problems on the Suns. The Suns don't necessarily need additional shooting or scoring. They need defense. And over the last few years, it's not that Clay can't play defense, but he's no longer what I would consider an elite, defender on the perimeter. So for me, I would say he wouldn't be adding to what they need the most. It's not that he could come off the bench and put up some numbers, right? But I just don't think they would prioritize that, And part of it too, I'm just looking at what Clay's value would be a bit. I think he could still command a salary, right? So
yeah,
I just don't think they would do that.
So as we're there on the Suns, do you think that the Suns? Well, I thought the other day I was talking to who it was Olinga.
Mm-hmm.
We were like, the Suns need a Rondo-esque point guard.
Yeah, you need a playmaker. You don't need Booker or someone else that they have right now running.
You
need someone that is a live coach running the offense. A de facto leader that can, just run the plays and start the offense. And if they get that, to be honest, they're a different team.
Right.
And it's how the team was constructed too. I think they made some mistakes along the way. But you had to jump at the opportunity, right? If you're faced with an opportunity like that, you would be silly not to chase that, right? So, but I think you could still do some things to the squad to make it a bit better, right? You could add some anchors. You could find a veteran point guard. Maybe search for a. I would say if I'm the Suns, even though I don't think you will be able to find a two-way point guard at this point for the Suns that will give you that playmaking ability. But if I'm the Suns, honestly, I'm looking at a Mike Conley contract to see if I can bring him in on the minimum or something like that to run that offense. So I'm pulling him from wherever he is and trying to get him in so he could instigate the offense. Because a guy like Mike, even though he's probably a defensive liability at this point, he can run the offense. And if the offense starts sticking, as you said, in the fourth, then this guy can put down a three if given the space, right? So at the end of the day, a guy like that would probably be my pick if I had the GM hat on. Is it enough? No. I would probably have not gone for Nurkic as my center. I would be probably looking for an elite shot blocker. I don't need more offense, to be honest. I need someone who could get up, swat that ball, catch that ball in midair, make it look like a Golden on. Yeah. You need someone that's fully athletic, big, that can really disrupt the flow of anyone trying to come around, and that's not going to get themselves in foul trouble. So
Sounds like
I don't know where they're gonna find that, to be honest, right now. So, yeah.
No, they're not.
But a team like that, they need some work, man, because the playoffs, it's been seen, man. Yeah, you can have elite. You can stack the cards like the Warriors did, right? But that's a different level of offense that you will never see again
Never
for a
see
long
again.
time to come. Yeah. So the Suns are nowhere close to that level of offense. So, yeah.
I mean, okay, yeah, they're nowhere close to it.
Yeah, the elite, let's say primetime Warriors with KD. No, nah.
They were they're the Mount Rushmore.
Yeah.
Offensive.
That's the best team ever, man. Offensively, best team ever offensively.
Because
So,
LeBron and JJ Redick discussed that the other day, and they were saying that offense was basically unstoppable.
yeah, you can't stop
With
that.
KD, with KD.
Doesn't matter what you send at that. You can't stop that offense.
There
So,
wasn't anything you could really do.
no, there comes a point where defense has its limitations, right? You could have elite defense, but if you stack it well enough to positions, it doesn't matter who is playing defense.
Yeah.
And that happens. You look at elite players when they match up in, scrimmage or anything like that. Just look at the video and what happens. Typically the player on the offensive side will win that battle because defense can only take you so far. And for some players, it's not about stopping them, right? As they tell you, it's just you're just trying to make it a little bit more difficult. That's it. You can't stop some people. So the Kobe's, the Jordans, the LeBrons, the Kyrie Irvings, those players with that in that upper echelon tier of NBA play, it's not about stopping them. It's just about, can I make it
just making it a little difficult for them?
Yeah. Can I throw a body at them or something? And maybe they might go instead of 55%, they might shoot 42%, 45% from the field. So it's really that. It's a game of numbers. It's a game of numbers, yeah. And they still hit 40 on you. That's the problem. So, but yeah, definitely. I think it's gonna be wild. By the way, what's the results of the game still happening or?
Oh no, that should be finished by now. Let me just check the score.
Yeah, check the score and then.
Ooh.
76ers won the game.
Won the game.
Wow, look at that. So they got the 7th seed. Wow.
Damn.
Wow.
Yo, they could beat the Knicks.
Yeah, they can beat the Knicks. The Knicks don't have Randall, and that's a huge loss. So I know a lot of Knicks fans tonight are probably, head in hand, just kind of head down. Here we go again. They need a star on the Knicks, man. That's become obvious, So,
that bracket you had with this thing, just pull it back up for me.
Sure. Do that. Yeah, so we had the Knicks Pacers matching up. Knicks and 76ers. So and you had the 76ers going through. So that probably holds true, right? So
yeah. So the only thing now is if Joel stays healthy. I think in this one I had the Heat going through because I said the Heat were up at the time.
Right.
So I mean, I would have had I still have the 76ers going through in 6, but now against the Pacers, I might have the 76ers instead of the Pacers.
So you're saying the 76ers may match up with the Celtics in the finals potentially?
Yeah, that's what I'm looking at.
Yeah, I mean it's a possibility, right? But I think I think what we need to consider is if Giannis comes back in time and he's healthy, I think they deal with the Pacers, and then you could have a potential Joel Embiid Giannis matchup in the next round. But it comes down to, here's the thing, right? I expect this playoffs could be a very damaging legacy moment for Doc, even more so than it is already, because I still respect Doc a little bit for some of the things he's done.
Okay.
But honestly, he has to prove his playoff experience now with the Bucks. You have a lot of good players in that squad. If you get bounced in the first round, then I mean, come on, man. What else is there to say?
In the first round, I think he's gone.
Yeah, he's definitely gone. But I think the damage from this goes beyond that. I think it's going to be hard for any team to really pick him up, for further coaching in the NBA.
Listen, I
think.
still don't understand why they fired the first coach in the first place.
Yeah, definitely. So shout out to Lana, by the way. Thanks for joining the stream. Yeah, we're just discussing some of the playoff action happening right now. So definitely shout out to you and everybody else that's watching. If you're on demand, sorry you couldn't make it live, but we definitely appreciate you for checking out the stream. And but yeah, definitely we will be on during some of these playoff games, and we'll be giving you guys some insight on what we think where players will move. And yeah, it's been a fun show, and we're hoping to continue that chat. It's definitely an exciting time to be watching these stars go off as they are in the playoffs, man. It's been wild. Shocking scenes again with Clay last night and the Warriors, but that's the nature, man. Somebody's got to go to Cancun. So somebody's got to go to Cancun, man. So yeah, definitely. But yeah, so I think we'll definitely run it back. We'll see where the brackets stand next week, and we want to definitely shout out everybody for watching and the people. Yeah, we really appreciate y'all for tuning in, and we will be back next week. Stay tuned for what we have coming up. This is the Collective Bargaining Podcast, folks.
Thank you guys for being here. Appreciate y'all.
Definitely. Peace.